Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble, where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. Now, FOMO is definitely a thing. It's definitely gripping some of the UK market. There's some evidence to suggest that perhaps the old US of A are not quite falling for the very, very high levels of FOMO that the UK is, with some nice, decent level silver sales happening here. But look at this. In the UK, somebody over the last weekend sold a 1 kilo Royal Mint silver bar for £1,790 plus buyer's fees. In fact, if we look here, you can see not the £41.65 in buyer's fees plus postage on top. They've paid nearly £1,850 for this silver bar. That's crazy, especially when you look at spot price right now for a 1 kilo bar at £1,245. I can't help but think that the person who bought this bar is running out of a bit of FOMO. Now, there is a lot going on in the silver world, and I'm not going to ignore the fact that there are suppliers out there, including the old Royal Mint itself, that don't have these products in stock at the moment. There seems to be a shortage of silver. Will that be a long-term shortage? I don't think so. We've seen these kind of shortages happen in the past. We've seen the COVID pandemic make things a little bit inaccessible and the run up on silver prices. We've seen silver squeeze movements attempt to squeeze the markets, and there's a lag with all of this stuff. And what's happened over the last couple of weeks, and certainly the last month, if we look at the charts for silver, with this monumental rise from under £1,000 for a kilo up to 1,240, 24% rise in just a month, we are definitely seeing a little bit of FOMO in the markets. A lot of people getting into it, a lot of silver hitting social media and news outlets and sort of first-tier news outlets as well. It's been on the BBC News headlines. I'm sure it's been on other news networks as well. So I can't help but feel that there's a lot of people out there who are trying to get into silver and are getting in at really, really high prices, £1,790. And it's not just a one-off fluke, because there are other confirmed auctions. Now, eBay has always been a little bugbear for a lot of people. They say, oh, eBay, don't buy gold and silver on eBay. It's just a really, really bad place. It's actually not that bad. And it's got better over the years because of this thing here, the buyer protection fee. If you're a buyer on eBay, you really do have pretty much impunity in terms of purchasing. If you know how to test things, if you spot that something's not right, then you're pretty much guaranteed to get your money back. As a seller as well, with this buyer protection side of things, then you're really quite protected as well from the fraudulent scam buyers. There's really only very few avenues in which that you will completely lose out on from eBay. Now, there are excuses to that, and there are examples with people who will get scammed on eBay. But for the most part, if you're buying from an experienced and well-established seller on eBay, you're just fine. And it's also a really good barometer of where price points are. So, for example, why I'm saying that the UK seems to be gripped with a little bit of FOMO at the moment is because we are seeing US auctions ending. This one ended at 1,253 just this morning. And of course, spot price, 1,245. So that seems pretty good from a US perspective. Somebody's getting a pretty close to spot price deal on what I would say is a pretty good bar to a close spot price deal. Now, the problem we face, of course, in the UK is that the silver that we buy from dealers or from mints has VAT on top of it. And the craziest thing about this particular listing is that because we have VAT, if you bought this brand new from the Royal Mint, you'd be paying around £1,550 to £1,600. So this is more expensive, but the problem is it's not in sale at the Royal Mint anymore because of the silver shortage issues. And indeed, there were a lot of people, and I'm going to bring up Bullion by Post here for, not because they're a bad company, but they do tend to have quite high prices for some of their products. And we're seeing them offer out the best value Britannia coins at the moment for £49.20 plus the VAT, £59 for a 1 ounce silver Britannia. It's quite high. It's very high, in fact. And the idea being that that they are basically running out of silver, so the market's squeezed, so there's less to go around. And, that's commercialism, that's market capitalism. So I'm not going to call them out and say that they're doing that nefariously. That's just the way it is. And if people are going to go and buy from them on that side, then fine, that's absolutely fine. But it's not just Bullion by Post as well that are having that. It's also on eBay. So if we go down for 1 ounce silver Britannias and we have a look here at sold listings, and as I say, eBay is a fantastic place to look for this kind of thing. We can see that just this weekend, this listing here, 2 1 ounce silver Britannias, King and Queen portraits. Most of us stackers who've lived through the passing of the Queen will have these. Granted, they look in absolute immaculate condition, which is a rarity for Royal Mint silver. £117 for the pair, plus the buyer's fee, plus some postage. You know, you're looking at £125. That's over £62.50 per coin. So a little bit of the FOMO has been created by the market, by bullion dealers, not just bullion by post, plenty of bullion dealers out there, plenty of individual sellers out on eBays, out on the various Facebook groups. One thing that I will say is that the Silver Forum has long been the best place to buy silver. In fact, if we go here to the Silver Forum, I won't be logged in, of course, on my incognito tab, but the Silver Forum, great place to buy and sell. And the trade sections here on the Silver Forum are fantastic. And there are better deals than that on eBay. So go and check it out. You can see links in the description box. You'll get a little bit of a better user experience than just having an incognito tab open and not signed in. But if you sign in and you have a look, you will see a lot of the really good deals out there. It is a fantastic place to buy and sell. But this is very high, and I just can't feel like this is a good place to be. And if you are new to silver, if you're watching and you're seeing the markets collapse, you're seeing yourself thinking, I need to get me some silver, don't go and buy it on eBay at £1,850 for a kilo bar. Have a think about what's right, because in the long run, if you're going to try and sell this back to a bullion dealer, in fact, let's go here and have a quick look. Again, not sponsored by Bullion by Post. In fact, one thing I will always say about Bullion by Post is that they are one of the best payers for kilo bars of silver and the higher end 5 kilo bars. Currently, they are paying £1,244.70 Great British pennies, which is technically slightly higher than spot, 1,243. You know, that's the kind of price point that you'd be looking to get if you just wanted to liquidate this. Now, yes, you can try and sell it yourself back on the old eBays or on various different places like Facebook, and you can get a little bit of a better price. But realistically, in a pinch, a person's going to be out of pocket 600 quid. Seems a bit sad, really, doesn't it? Out of interest, I wonder what their spread is currently on the old Britannias. So if we go over here and we're looking at sell silver coins, sell silver Britannias, they are buying silver Britannias at just spot, and then they're selling them out with a margin of over £10, £11 an ounce, plus the VAT on top, take home for the government. It's quite a big margin, isn't it? Quite a big margin. So, not a bashing video against Bullion by Post at all. And if any representative from Bullion by Post watches this, I do mean it in the kindest of lights. I do genuinely think you're a fantastic company. I will highly commend you for some of the high pay rates that you guys give on bullion bars and products like that. It's a really, really good company. You guys should go and check them out. But be wary of some of the pricing points that they do have currently, because I think a lot of it is fueled by the shortage, inverted commas, shortage of silver right now. So be very careful out there, guys. If you are looking to buy silver right now, just be conscious that there are a lot of social media sources that will be saying it's the time to buy is now, otherwise it will go to the moon. This spot price that we're seeing right now is high. It's gonna maybe continue to go high. Where's the kilo? There we go. It's going to continue to go over time, I think, but where will it be in a year's time? I mean, you just got to look at the year. Look at this. That's even 6 months, sorry. A year, 59% rise. Is that sustainable? If it seems too good to be true, it might well be too good to be true. And of course, if we look at the all-time yearly charts here, this looks remarkably similar to this, doesn't it? Now, the interesting thing, though, will be if it does collapse, where does the new level hit? So here, of course, it went up, and then it collapsed down to around the £350, £400 for silver. Up here, maybe £750. We'll see. Anyway, that's it from me. We'll see you all on the next video. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.